You're my thing. Don't be afraid. First phase is pain. Soon they will all go away. Don't be afraid. You're my thing. I don't put the blame on you, I put it on Dave. He's my slave. Can't get in the way. When we play this game, you better get it all the way. Better get it all the way. You're my thing. Don't be afraid. That this day is mine for my success. He gets in the way. You're gonna feel it all day. You're not named, but you'll feel the pain. You're my thing. Next phase, gonna feel it all day. You're my thing. Girl with that name, feel the way that we're done and great. Feel the way all your inhibitions are fade. You're my thing, and that's just Dave, my former slave. Gets in the way. You know exactly what to do or say. You're my fame. You're my thing. Like this, all in the brain. Gonna find a way when the inhibition fade. Like this, more than the game. You're gonna find a way for the inhibition to fade. You're my name. You live without a name. You're my name. He's just in the way.
This is Family Electric Ghost, and this is our continuing series of song deconstructions. This is episode 76, and this is the title of this episode, or the focus is the Sadomasochism of the track You Are My Fade. Now, Family Electric Ghost is my vehicle for electronic music, and typically our songs are rather expanded and longer than, a typical single. We usually never venture into like a 2-minute song. Most of our songs are a lot longer because we are kind of stepped in a tradition of a progressive rock band, and we do sound paintings or a lot of structure to our songs that take longer for them to develop. But sometimes we do get a song, even going back to our old original releases, that are more in step with the typical signal structure. So this song, You Are My Fade, where Josephine dives deep into her role as a S&M dominatrix, is only 2 minutes and 36 seconds. And sometimes you have a complete thought as an artist that, it doesn't take all the time that we've taken on other songs. Well, this song was just kind of an off-the-cuff process. We were working on a collaboration song we were doing with a Brazilian artist, and we'll have more information on that after we've run through a bunch of drafts. We were in a recording session in our studio, and we had come up with a sequence on our Arturia beat step, on our actual Arturia Mini Brute 2S, which we have in our Rack Brute Eurorack solution. And we've been playing with the real-time sequencing and the step sequencing, and we came up with a pattern that we really liked. But then we kind of used it for the song that we're working on our collab, and we kind of did a lot of effects on it and brought it into a zone where it was more atmospheric, where you couldn't even, discern the rhythm as much, because we wanted it to be a part of a song that already had a pretty good beat. But then we liked the actual beat that this section had. So we decided after we recorded the collaboration track that we would use this as the basis of an original Fam Electric Ghost Josephine track. And we're actually tagging this track as a Josephine Electric track. So this is a Josephine Electric track. The Phantom is a co-collaborator on it, and then we have Stephanie and Winover as the writer, because this is a band full of characters similar to the Gorillas that we've created using our vocoders, and we've got a whole vibe of each character, where Josephine is the lead singer, Stephanie is backup and a writer producer, and the Phantom is a producer and keyboard player and overall leader of the overall concept. But Josephine's the lead singer. The Phantom's kind of more the writer, producer. And Josephine also plays that role, so it's like dual role, like Lennon McCartney's idea. Josephine and Phantom are pretty much like 50-50 on everything. So, You Are My Fade basically has Josephine in her role from the beginning as a sadomasochist, dominatrix, and basically the song is she's in charge, and she is saying that she wants to take on a new partner that's a female partner, and she had a sex slave named Dave that is in the way, and she's kind of discarding him, or saying that he's not important to her anymore. He's just a minor person, and she's trying to train her new lover, who's a female, to basically be very assertive with Dave and push him out of the way. And she's kind of goading her new love to realize that she can do that. And at the same time, Josephine is kind of berating her new love and saying that she's, that she's in charge and she's not in the dominant role. And so it's kind of a weird song, and it was built using the DFAM and the Mother 32. So the drummer from Another Mother is driving a beat, as well as the Arturia Mini Brute 2S. So this is pretty much a full analog song. I am using my analog synths, because the Arturia Mini Brute 2S is an analog synth with 2 oscillators and a sequencer. I'm using that sequencer. I'm using the Mother 32. I'm actually manually playing the notes on the Mother 32, and a lot of the analog signal path is going through my Make Noise Maths module to give it a really strange effect. You kind of, when you're playing with the Mother 32 and the maths, sometimes you're experimenting with different settings. And I was looking at the keyboard control, and I was able to get a sound that if you hold a note, it has somewhat of a vibrato and a portamento effect, and it was very, jarring, and it was very powerful. So what I would do is just hold a note like a C or an F, hold it for a whole note length, let it go, quickly play other notes that kind of come in at a not as a dramatic level, then go from C to F, F to C, play the other notes in between in a rapid manner, and it creates this melody that you hear. And then the DFAM and the Mini Brute are creating like the bass structure, the bass line structure of the song. And it's not really a drum per se. I'm using the DFAM to create like a bass tone that is percussive, but not a typical drum. It's not a bass drum, it's not a tom, it's not a snare. It's more of a bass percussive sound. in combination with the mini brute 2S. And some people might be offended by the sexuality that we're displaying in these songs. But as I said many times, Josephine, when I created her, a lot of people, the fans, the impression they had, even on songs that we didn't have this kind of theme, is she sounds like a dominatrix. And I don't know what a dominatrix is supposed to sound like, but I got a lot of feedback from fans saying that that's the vibe they got from her. And I thought that was interesting, and I started to double down on it. And I started using concepts like hate, fade, bait. And that concept was in a couple of songs where you're basically, sometimes you're in a relationship, you kind of bait a person into a situation where you're going to be abusive in some way. And in a dominatrix situation, that's kind of like part of the game, though it's consensual. So in this situation, Josephine's saying, the woman, her partner, is her fade, and she's treating her in a subservient way, but she also treats her other lover, Dave, in that way. And it all ends in 2 minutes and 36 seconds, but I feel it's a strong Josephine track, and we're pushing it out there. Don't know what the reception is going to be on it, other than this is kind of our phase right now. We've done a bunch of political songs as well, but in the last couple of weeks we've been doubling down on Josephine's dominatrix leanings, and this is where this story continues. And we'll keep on pushing that envelope with Josephine. We've always kind of imagined if we were able to do a full show, a Family Electric Ghost and Josephine Electric show, that if we got into a realm where we had good public backing and performance, that we would work with dancers and actresses, and that we would have an actress or a dancer play Josephine in this kind of dominatrix motif, and they would kind of act out scenes on stage, similar to like Love Sexy tour, your old school like Madonna and Prince used to have like little stage shows where Prince and Kat would kind of act things out during Love Sexy Black Album stuff. And we would want to do a similar thing, maybe have it all in shadows and black and kind of red lighting to kind of imply things, from a dance perspective. And we would love to, to get to that stage. We got some cool ideas. And we would think that, some artistic directors and people who choreograph could get the vibe from these songs and kind of play it out. We've also been interested in eventually going to a Phantom Electric Ghost 3.0 costume or stagecraft, where we wear a cape that's LED embedded that can actually do little short films on the actual cape on the front and the back. You could actually run lyrics. In the Phantom outfit could, on the faceplate or the mask I'm wearing, could sometimes show Josephine's face and sometimes show the Phantom's face. And being kind of the character or the nature of the outfit would be kind of, you can't really tell what sex the ghost of Josephine is on the face of it. It would be the face mask, or the actual cape could sometimes reflect a female outfit or a male outfit. And that would be our kind of way of shifting between songs that, Phantom songs would have the male image, and Josephine and Stephanie's songs would have the female image. And so we've kind of played with that. We've also played, with the idea of having an actress or a dancer play Josephine on stage while we're doing this. And we don't want to get into a situation where she's lip syncing Josephine's lines. But, it could be part of the whole mystique it could be a cool idea. And so we're open to different interpretations. We're excited that we're doing another collaboration with a Brazilian artist. I'm not going to reveal his name right now until we get approval for the work we're doing with him. But we're excited that this is our second collaboration for 2018. Our first was with Metaflow, and now she's not referring to herself as that anymore, Flora Axia. We did the song Wounded Room, which has gotten pretty good reception on all the streaming services. We'd love to work with her again. Previously, we've had collaborations with Stephen Kidd, his GJ Squash Kid. We're working potentially on another set of collaborations with them in the Wolfsboro crew in New Hampshire. We worked with Lonnie Claire in New York City on our collaboration album with them, which is out on all the streaming services. And then we had our big collaboration with All Control K. We kind of parted ways, but the work is still there, and we were very happy with the work we did there. And sometimes when you work with an artist, you have creative differences, you have personality conflicts, and different things happen. And it's kind of sad that we weren't able to do another set of work. And we had a really good vibe with All Control K. But she does a lot of different projects. Everybody should go out and look at what she's doing on her Instagram and her Facebook and her own website. She does some VR work that is really interesting and pretty cool. There was a little hint of it in our project that was out there on YouTube. You can see a little snippets of it. And we worked with Chernobel.com on the To Infinitum album where he did the cover. We started to work on the Dark Ghost album, which is a solo Phantom Electric Ghost release. This album structure of it is out on SoundCloud. We are planning on doing a release where we'd have a physical copy of this album. That has been delayed. We might default back to a full release, download-only release that we're going to put out. We might do that. We got to talk to Chernobel.com whether or not we're going to still include the artwork or go with a different direction. We have other projects that we've done this year that we've been pushing our YouTube and Anchor itself. We've been pushing a lot of our analysis of music and our interviews with artists. So coming up for interviews is that we will be talking to Hydra. We will be talking to a synth girl, and we will be also talking to Araya and who had an awesome run of cool shows in New York City. We're going to talk to her about that experience. And I'm sure we'll be talking to Kendra Black again and Kendra Erica. They're all working on cool new projects. And the Muted, the punk brothers from London or England. And so, well, London, England, same place. We're very excited about what we're going to be getting pretty soon in the mail from Sweetwater.com. We'll be getting the OPZ, which is a revelation, and we're planning on doing not a product review. We're going to go and we're going to write, Phantom Electric Ghost and Josephine Electric tracks, and we're going to show what we do to record one. So our idea is we're going to actually film our recording process, raw and kind of unedited, what we do with this device. And so we're going to use our Studio B, and we're going to be using our Yamaha MG10XU. We're going to use our VTO 4 or 3 and OPZ to do Josephine Electric and Phantom Electric Ghost tracks on the OPZ. We'll be using the VTO 3 for the vocoder, unless we can find a vocoder in the OPZ. But we understand there's a mic. I'm not sure if they have a sound engine built in there yet. We are very interested on the OPZ of what the 4 auxiliary inputs look like, or they're for. If they're going to be modules that make the OPZ bigger, to add more capability, we initially had looked at early OPZs. It looked like they actually had CV inputs, and those inputs changed to more of a auxiliary section. So I'm sure it looks like the OPZ's CV implementation may be through the software or the USB line, but I'm not sure how that connects to a Moog. Because if you got a CV line on a Moog, how do you get it into the OPZ? Do you have to have some kind of universal audio input device or some other device from like Arturia to bring that in? That's the question I had to Sweetwater. I'm going to put that to him again. How do you connect like a DFAM to an OPZ? What is the interface you would need? Can you use, if you have your iPhone, you still don't have a way of connecting the CV to the Moog. So it's just a question of how that happens. Maybe that's what the interface is for, to actually put a CV line into the machine. That would be very interesting. It says it supports it. It might be just through using like Pro Tools or using a DAW to do it, but I would hope that Teenage Engineering has a concept of how that can be done if you're not using a DAW, because the whole purpose of the OPZ is to not use a DAW and do everything in the OPZ. We are fan supported, so if you want to support the Ghost, you can subscribe to us at $4.99 or $9.99, and we'll send you a download or a physical copy of one of our albums, one of our first CDs from Amazon.com, some of the Wicked, Indigo Menace, or our other album, Synesthesia Neo, Sweet Soul Surrender. We also have, just a subscriber level at 99 cents a month that will help support us doing all kinds of things like getting a Roland AX Edge, which is one of our next goals after we get the OPZ. And future thought is if we can build up our touring capability for next year, that eventually we could, through the touring proceeds, get a Prophet XL or a Moog 1. So that's it for today. And the podcast is longer than the song, but that's how it goes sometimes. Everybody be safe out there, and remember to vote on November 6th, and make sure you let your opinion be out there. There's a lot of people who are trying to restrict people's rights. And so I think if you look at what's out there, if you believe in restricting people and keeping people down, go for what you know. But if you believe in supporting the most freedom for everyone, I think you know that there's a blue wave coming. And that's all I got to say about that. Thanks.